what's up? My name is Tom Mizzle. You watch my channel Mizzle 14, and I'm back with Married to Medicine, y'all. Yes, it is back. It is season 8, episode 1, breaking out of the bubble. Alright, so majority of the cast member is back. We do have Quad as a friend of the show. Lisa Nicole and Kari is also coming back, but they also be friends of the show. And we don't have Mariah in this season, but we do have a new girl who is Toya, good friend, which is named Anila. And the husband is Dr. Kiran or Dr. Kirkman. I think it's Kirkman. So like that. So we'll get more background story on them, but we just got introduced to them, but we didn't get no background story of who they are, the nationality, all that stuff, how long they been married, how many kids they have, the house they live in. We don't know all that stuff. That we just got introduced to them. Okay. All right. So this season is just like most of the shows. It is opening about talking about the pandemic and also talk about the Black Lives Matter and all that stuff. So we know we got through the whole spill. All new show that's coming out with a new season is usually opens up with that two major things: the pandemic and Black Lives Matter. So it's a lot, and television, entertainment, all that stuff has been affected across the country. So it's like everything had to do production and stuff like that. So they talk about it. So I'm not gonna go too deep into the details because every show is coming about with a new season. It talks about it. They start open with that. So we saw Dr. Damon with her wife, her wife, Dr. Damon, Dr. Heavenly, Jackie, and Contessa. They was there. They was basically no, not Contessa. Dr. Scott. They was there doing the testing at Dr. Damon's facility. You know, he opened up his own private practice, and he decided, you know what, during this pandemic, I'm gonna fight it. I'm not gonna just go beat about it. I'm not gonna talk about it. I'm gonna be about it. So that's what he did. He be about it, and he started doing testing at his facility. Test like hundreds of people every day, and that's that. So they all sat down and get a little breather, and then heavily asked why Simone is not there. And I was like, oh. Dr. Damon and Dr. Scott got up right up and said, oh, we ain't talking, we ain't sitting there. We getting out of here. Y'all girls have your little talk. And they here and there, and they just want to know why. Because we find out, we thought in the end of the freaking reunion, Toya, not Toya, Simone and Jackie supposed to made up and continue their friendship and whatnot. But this season they told us that they haven't spoken to each other since that reunion. Since then, there's nothing else. All they mostly do with each other is that they practice is close to each other. They just walk by each other and say hi, hi. That's it. They just say hi. Hey girl, and go about their business. But nobody reach out to each other, nobody text each other, nobody call each other, not even trying to have a sit down. Over of a, I don't know, because it's a misunderstanding. People they falling out. We don't know the deep rooted issue why they falling out because it been 20 something years they've been together as friends, best friends, Simone and Jackie. For them to not to talk anymore, I know it's both sides. They're hurting, but at the same time they are stubborn. So one of them is not trying to bend. They is not trying to bend at all. And for me, I was like, listen, I've been friends with this person for so long, and you know, sometimes you don't want to be the bigger person all the time. You don't want to be the bigger person all the time. But I would say, you know what, whatever. I've had to do it. I had to do it to mend this friendship because we've been friends for so long. So I don't know why we would fall out over it. Last season, it was about how you know Buffy. She's not on the season. You know, she's at the infertility issues, and Jackie blurted out there, and this whole spill, and Jackie was apologizing and stuff like that in the reunion. I think Jackie felt that Simone didn't have her back. She supposed to have my back. You know my character. You know who I am. You know that's not the type of person I would have done that. So for you to not to stand by me, do all this stuff, and then Simone feel like Jackie always been a middle person, but that she decided to take herself back. So it's like a disconnect between those two. And from there, they just had never talked to each other. They just, hey girl, and just keep it moving. And I said, I don't know, that's sad. Cause they the one who had the most glued friendship, and now they fracture like how everything else. And I think it's because heavily, because I think maybe one of them, Simone, may be territorial, and said, "Now this is my friend," and then Heavy's in the middle of it, and it's coming disconnect, and um, it just breaking up the friendship, discord. It just having this bunch of discord, and I don't know. I just wish they get it together because I don't want to go through this whole season for them not to speak it. They try to talk at the end, but I'll get to that in a minute. So Dr. Simone, her son Michael, and the young one who is the more free spirited one type of one, and he said what's in his mind, and he just do what he had to do. Look, split image of Cecil when he was young, a little bit of both of them, but like his father, and he's going to college. He graduated, but pandemic hit these youngsters too. A lot of these youngsters they have a proper spring prom, or they have a proper senior trip, or a proper graduation. Some of them had to do virtual graduation. Some of them even had in person graduation. So it's like it was a lot for them. So we did find out that he's going to college, and he's going to college in Tennessee. I did Cleveland, Tennessee, and he's gonna be the Lee University. So it's a predominantly white school, and he got a scholarship. I think they say diversity two or division two scholarship. So I said, hey, you should go with the scholarship. And he had to pay money that much money, and it was like a free ride to college. So he got a scholarship to go to school and everything, and that's what he going to. And he said the only thing he's worried, and he excited to go to college. He is. The only thing he's worried about is the experience racism because he's going to a predominantly white school or a predominantly white neighborhood in an area. It's it's gonna be something. But he said he just gonna do what he got to do is educate people if they don't understand his race. And I went to a predominantly white college, and I had a good time. I mean, I surround myself with. I'm a person who can make good friends and make friends with no problem. White, black, Spanish. We had a good time. I had a good 4 years. I ain't gonna lie. I had a good time in college. Even though it was a predominantly white school, I didn't really experience much racism and stuff like that. Little ticks here and there, but it wasn't too much as I felt out of place. The only thing about it is that we have a small group of people in this minorities in the school, and not all of us got together, but I was happy to be in part of the EOP program that made me be able to be around other people who we got comfortable with each other and we know each other and we support each other throughout the 4 years. And and as me, I've been involved. So it's I think Michael has the social life he is. I think he will make it work. He'll be well. All right, so Toya is frustrated. Toya is very frustrated because of thing. She do admire her husband. She is appreciative of her husband, Dr. Eugene, for fighting. Because all of them is doctors and they all working a lot of long hours. And, Scott, heavily, Damon, Contessa, Jackie, Simone, they're all basically, and I guess Anila husband gonna be part of the cast. They all working long hours in this freaking fight of fighting the panorama, fighting it, and a lot of patients in the hospital getting sick, dying, testing, not a lot of medical equipment. They might go through that. So it's a lot of obstacles for them, and also balancing family and household, and you don't want to bring stuff that you've been in the hospital all day to the house, so they take off their clothes. Because it was one scene that I was like, "Why Eugene is stripping?" But I understand why he did that because I know it's somehow. So I know some of my friends been telling me that they have doctors or police officers or people first responders or whatever working long hours. When they come home, they take off their clothes before they get in the house and they put it in the bag and they wash it and all that stuff like that. Go take a shower before you hug and kiss your spouse and your kids and stuff like that. So I understand it. So I said, oh, he just taking off, just showing the boxes. I like Eugene. But I understand why I did it. And it clicked on me because I said, okay, I did it. He doing that before he get in the house. So he can take a clothes, take a shower, and then when he get in the house, he in fresh new clothes and not his work clothes, and he won't be passed along to his kids and his wife. So, but Toya is frustrated. She said, listen, all that stuff, we was having parties in my house. We built the house up. It's my dream home. We had a good time, good life, and then pandemic happened and all that squashed. We don't have parties anymore as much now. It's just quiet. And they had an anniversary trip. They were supposed to go to Italy, but they had to put that on pause because traveling is like kind of like was banned at the beginning, the peak of the pandemic. It was banned, so traveling was not gonna happen. Restaurant got shut down for a while. I know Atlanta did open up their stuff quicker than everybody else, but yeah, it's a lot of stuff happening for a while, so they had to be in the house. And Toya just said, "Oh my gosh, this happening, this that happening." We had a trip, we had an anniversary. I like to go out, I like to go have a dinners and stuff. And UG said, I feel the same way. UG said, yes, I work a long hours, but yes, I like to go out with my wife. I like to go on a trip. I want to like to have all that done. But it just the state of the nature of the country right now. And we can't do anything about that. So I was like, y'all will get it through. Y'all will get it through. It's gonna happen. This season is around July so far. So I guess it's like months after, because the peak of epidemic was around March. So March, April, June, July. It's around the summertime in July. This all this stuff happening. So slowly but surely. Dr. Katessa and Dr. Scott, they both working long hours, so they're trying to balance that out with both of them being first responders, and their job is really essential. So they had to do that long hours, and also I think working at home as well, because I think it was one scene that Dr. Katessa had to be telemedicine call, and the Wi-Fi was messing up and acting up. So that was that, and she was home taking a shower, and then Dr. Scott came home, and then he took off most of his clothes, and then he would try to kiss Dr. Contessa, and she's like, you ain't took your shower yet. And then he got to take a shower. The kids is in the house, because I think most of the kids had to be home because, most schools shut down. So they asked, and they had to try to find a babysitter or all that stuff like that, because they both work on long hours, and they got 3 kids, and they both the kids, all their kids like grown now. They're like babies. So that would be crazy. They really had a baby. Some I think one was like 13. I think the other one was like 9. Another one was like 8 something. Yeah. So it was like they upped the age there. So they had their cousin Paris there. Cousin Paris and her girlfriend Ashlyn, and they've been there taking care of the kids and helping the kids while they're working and everything. So they appreciate that. But Dr. Paris, their cousin, she got the holistic approach. She had them doing yoga, meditating, crystals, and stuff like that, healthy diets. I said, all right, you better do it. And they appreciate them. So I guess they stay in the house. I guess the agreement is stay in the house, take care of the kids. We got you. You don't have to worry about them rent and stuff like that. Oh, we don't know that much details. But I would say, hey, listen, if you're helping my kids, you can stay over here. Shoot. Just make sure the kids eat, fed, do their homework, all that stuff, help them with their schoolwork. If they got do the freaking Zoom calls, meeting, and virtual classes, help them out, and that's it. So it was great that the cousin was able to help them out while they both working. So Jackie and Curtis finally finished the house. They finished the house. I say, y'all, because Jackie wanted to a new house, and they bought the house. They bought the house that was really good already. But she wanted to do some upgrading to the house. I think like expand the kitchen a little bit. I said you don't really cook that much, so why you want to expand the kitchen? But she want to expand the kitchen. I think she got her little glam room and a lot of stuff. And I was like, oh man, that look nice. And Curtis said he didn't tell us what he got his house. I said, come on, if we both in your house, y'all both gotta have some things in the house. I can't everything about the wife and you got nothing for yourself. But he said it was money, but as long as she's happy, he's happy. And they's in the house and they sat down and we found out that Dr. Heavenly is having a 50th birthday party for Dr. Damon, and she wanna have a house, and they all gonna go. But Jackie mentioned that this is the first time in close quarters being near Simone because her and I haven't really talked since last year. We haven't really talked. We just say hi and bye to each other, everything, but we never really had this close face to face interaction. So it's gonna be weird, everything. So Curtis was like, one of you had to bend. I know you don't want to take the first step, and she don't want to take the first step. But one of y'all have to take the first step for y'all to work on your parent your relationship because y'all been friends for so long, 20 plus years, for y'all to stop talking like this, to stop talking and not to say nothing to each other. All that stuff is disturbing. So one of you had to step it up. And Jackie said, I don't really want to do it this time. I don't want to be the one person to do it and to be the bigger person. Let her take the step. Let her take the initiative to work towards building the friendship because it's exhausting and I'm hurt. But if y'all miss each other, just come on, just say how you feel. Just say I miss you. I want this to work and stuff like that. So we go push forward for that. So this is the party. You know, Heavenly is working on a party and she is getting everything together. The ladies, they was decorative. They had decorations. They had the bartenders. They had the ladies, the caterer to prepare the food together. They wrapped up the crab legs. She said, "Why are the crab legs so wrapped up?" It said COVID crab legs. I said, "You better do it. Hey, get their old little baskets and it's all wrapped up so it'd be not interacting with each other. People get their own basket, their own little wrapping." I said, "That's cool. That's a nice thing." They had little mermaids in the pool. I said, "That was the mermaids was a waste of time." I said, "Why we have mermaids? Like nobody's in the pool, so why are you having mermaids just sitting there, sticking their feet in the water?" That's a waste of money. Not that heavily. That was a waste of money. But they had that. They had a drink. It was a fireplace. The colors, all that stuff. It was nice. Everybody had to have their shields on, take temperature, get their mask, and all that stuff. So there was like Heavenly was like she may have felt responsible for Jackie and Simone not really talking, and even then Simone and Heavenly hasn't been really talking because they were trying. They had their little falling out and disagreement and altercation from last season as well. Because you know the time that Heavenly was on she was on the internet. She was saying things, and Cecil was saying things, and then going back and forth and all stuff. I think. Oh yeah, I remember that's the time that Cecil made a joke, and he was repeating what that Mariah said. Pressure washed his house, and since then, Heavily went on social media and saying something. If you really get a job and this and that, and then Simone didn't like that, so she confronted Heavily. You know, and that whole big back and forth, and that's how that happened. So, and they supposed to work it out. Because at the end of the reunion, they was hugging it on the floor, rolling out on the floor. It's, ah, we got it, we good. And since then, they haven't talked to each other for a while. Jackie haven't heard from Simone for all that long time. Haven't heard from her none. Even Heavenly haven't heard from Simone for that long time. So I said, what's going on, Simone? Like, you don't want to talk to nobody? So, Anila, her husband, Kikron, or Karan, I gonna get his name like when we get him again. But I know it starts with a K. Cecil, Simone, and Toya Eugene all ride together towards Dr. Heavenly House. And Contessa and Jackie rode together. So while Contessa was talking to Jackie about the friendship and how things going, and everything, how you feel, work it out, and stuff like that. Toya and them was in the thing, and they was talking to Simone, how it feel. And Toya was on one. Toya was throwing that Patron back. She had the Patrons in the car. She had like 3 drinks. And at the party, she was drinking that back. I said, oh, when Toya get drunk, Toya turned up. So I was like, oh, Toya gonna be something on this scene. And that's it. So they all was talking, they hugging, they introducing and talking to each other. They sat down. And Heavenly asked Simone, why haven't I heard from you since the last time we met? Like in New York. I think they had the reunion around New York. So why have I had heard from you? And before that, Toya was busting out that crab legs. I said, you better go here, Toya. Toya was like, I said, Toya, you better. I was like, that would be me too. I'm hungry as a motherfucker too. I'll be eating too. I said, okay, shoot, I'm gonna eat. I don't care. Y'all can talk, but I'm eating. Shoot, so she was busting that down. So that's what Heavenly started asking Simone, why have I heard from you? And while Simone was trying to talk, Toya it keep interrupting. She said, nah, because y'all was voting on the floor. Y'all was voting on the floor. Yeah, they were voting on the floor. And they both cannot get a word in. They could not get a word in because Toya was interrupting them. And when they calmed down, and Simone said, wow, was Toya having a tantrum? She said, no, it's not a tantrum. It's not a tantrum because you was a fake ass B. You a fake because I was like, oh. She said, oh, you doing too much. Heavenly said, you doing too much. You doing too much. You doing too much. She said, oh, what? You gonna kick me out? Because I'm ready to leave. Kick me out. I was like, oh my gosh. So she got up and walked away. And that's how the episode ended. I was like, I don't know, y'all. Toya was on one, but we're gonna continue on that. Oh, another thing. When Simone got there, because Jackie and Contessa was there first. Simone got there, and when Simone was coming up towards Jackie, I don't know, she was about to say hi. Jackie turned her head. She was like, I said, oh, come on. Can y'all work it out? It's like, really? Come on, can y'all work it out? So then Jackie got up and she said, I'm going to hug you. I'm going to hug you. And Simone said, we probably social distancing. I said, can y'all get a hug? Y'all both wearing masks. So get a hug. And then they were trying to talk about some medical equipment and their testing equipment was not coming and all that stuff. It was kind of like an awkward, forced kind of conversation. I said, come on, like 23 years and we got to this? So Toya interrupted her because she could walk right in the middle with the crabs legs and everything. I said, oh my gosh. But Simone was happy that Toya interrupted them because it was like awkward. I think Jackie was happy that Toya interrupted them because it was awkward and she was felt uncomfortable with the conversation they had. But I said that was a start, at least. But we'll see. But that was Married to Medicine, y'all. Please like, comment, subscribe to my channel. Also share my videos. Tell me how y'all feel about this premiere season of Married to Medicine. Are y'all enjoying it so far? What y'all looking forward to in the season and everything? And put it in the comment section. Let's have a conversation, alright? Peace.